What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Teej pack. Teej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Teej Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Teej Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Teej pack. Feel the Teej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. It is Monday, June 12th, 2023, year of our Lord. Hey, somebody ban John Kennedy. We're going to go ahead and get the week started off right. Somebody go ahead and ban John Kennedy. We're going to go ahead and get the week started off right. He went through the effort of subscribing to the channel so that he can go ahead and give his comments first thing on Monday morning, and then we're going to go ahead and eliminate the Dusties right off the bat. So Kojak, somebody, Rita, anybody in the chat, go ahead and get that up out of there. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for continuing to contribute to what it is that we do over here at the Millionaire Morning Show. And let's get it in. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the show because we have a lot to get through this morning. And actually, we got a lot to get through all week. Got some updates for you guys. Got some updates with the Patreon. So much to go through. So I have a phenomenal show lined up for you all week long. Just got back from Miami. And I want to share my thoughts on that also. I want to share my thoughts on Miami. I'll be back there in 2 weeks. We got the Patreon meetup in New York. So let's go ahead and get the housekeeping out of the way. Make sure that y'all go ahead and get that Teej Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Plus, I was displaying for y'all last week some of the gifts that Teej Hanley just throws in for free. They just throw stuff in for free. So if you're using any of them other Teej packs, make sure y'all tap into the Teej pack that's in the description. That link is in the description right now for y'all to get y'all Teej Hanley. Do not delay. Do not be dusty. Make sure you rock out with that Teej Hanley. Again, it's 30% off your first order plus a free gift. In addition to that, Patreon. You need to sign up for the Patreon. And I'm going to give you another reason why you need to sign up for the Patreon shortly. But 2 of the reasons why you need to sign up for the Patreon is, A, we got the Patreon meetup in New York, which I'm very, very leery of. I need New York to get their air quality together before we tap into New York very soon. If you have not looked at what was happening over in New York, make sure you tap into the Patreon to see that in one of the most recent posts. In addition to that, I got an Invest in Your Business series where you guys basically are going to give me your pitches. I'm going to give you your seed money in order to get your businesses off the ground if you are a bag chaser. That's coming up very, very soon, so that should be announced. And I don't want nothing from it I don't need any return from it. I just need you to implement the things that we got going on in the Patreon. And then sometimes people need a little bit of a boost in order to get themselves together. So it would be my pleasure to spend my own money investing in my own people in order to make sure that you guys are getting your businesses vetted and off the ground. Let me also say that I just dropped a video inside of the Patreon this weekend / this morning that doubles down and gives you a little bit more insight into the video that I dropped before that, where I was talking about how to market yourself and market your business more effectively. So Anna is the interview that I just dropped inside of the Patreon, and it's not available even as a clip on YouTube. But Anna is a person that is an influencer, kind of blew up on TikTok, is making a lot of money from a lot of brand deals, started her own business, but more importantly, she gained her insight and her information from working side by side from one of the most prominent billionaires that you guys have ever known. So if you have not watched that interview, I just dropped it. Make sure you look at that interview inside of the Patreon. It's less than an hour long. And then she gives you a little bit of insight on how she got started as an influencer and how she was able to leverage and lean off of the insight that come along with working side by side by from one of the billionaires, one of the prominent billionaires, in order to then start her own brand. Does she regret it? All of that other type of stuff. So it's a really good interview. It's very insightful for people that's looking for a leg up to understand marketing, influencer marketing, all of that other type of stuff. So make sure y'all go in and look at that, because it is a lot of game and it is a lot of insight. And so I'm always working continuously in order to add value into y'all life inside of the Patreon. So again, that link is in the description. It is not available anywhere else. It will not be available anywhere else. I go and I find the best people and the most exclusive people for you so I can add as much value into y'all lives as possible. All right. So again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Teach Hanley, like, subscribe. Let's get started with the show. All right. So without further ado, I got a new timepiece that I'm picking up. I got a new Rolex that I'm picking up today. Actually, I'm not going to have the capacity to be able to pick it up. This is the first time that I'm not going to be able to stop into my authorized dealer, record the whole transaction, and then go and pick it up. I actually am sending Rita over into my authorized dealer in order to go and pick up the Rolex, right? Let me give you a little bit of insight of what's going on with that. So I got a call over the weekend of one of my grill pieces, one of my Rolexes that I have on order is now available. And so, good relationships. I bought almost every single Rolex that I have from this authorized dealer. She actually sits right next to me on the floor at the Pistons. And so shout out to you, love. I love you. I appreciate you. Really good friend of Rita. Her and Rita go out and, they have a good time and they go to lunch and do the stuff that girls do on a regular basis, right? And so Rita is going to pick that up for me because I'm going to be working relentlessly today. So Mondays is always the days that I hit it the most. Wednesdays is when I peak out. Thursdays is when I start to wind down. Fridays, I start to shoot. And Saturdays, I shoot a lot of my interviews and the people that I bring into town in order to give you guys inside of the Patreon as much insight and information as possible, right? But here's the key, though. Here's the thing. You guys see the Miami trips, right? And you see the cars, and you see the first class flights, and you see the lifestyle, and you see the, overlooking the ocean and all of that other type of stuff. But I need y'all to possibly go back and watch some of my earlier videos where I stayed down as long as possible, even after I started really, really getting to the bag and making money, because there's a lesson in that. And it's a reason why I leave all of those videos up. I want you to see the growth as a content creator. I want you to see the growth as an entrepreneur. I want you to see the growth from a professional perspective. I want you to see the growth entirely. And one of the reasons why I live my life like an open book is because it's important for you guys. I see you, Cliff. I'm going to read the super chat shortly. I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. It's important for you guys to really catch the lessons in there. And the lesson that I'm trying to emphasize to you today, based off of some of the things that I've seen in Miami this weekend, and I'm always inspired by real life situations in order to have conversations with you on the Millionaire Morning Show. Okay? And here's the lesson, right? As I was in Miami, I told y'all the story about the dude that was possibly getting finessed at the CVS. He had the Rolls Royce Cullinan, right? I told y'all about my lifestyle, and I was vlogging, and I did Fight Club there and all of that other type of stuff, right? And I ran into some people that was even from Detroit, and it was new money, all right? How do I know that there was new money? Because they had told me. They said that they had really just started getting money and getting popping, right? And when you see a lot of these basketball players and stuff like that, and you see them on these podcasts, they throw you hints to let you know what their lifestyle is like now that they're retired. You see people that come up on a decent amount of money, they may blow up, and whatever it is that they do, right? Their business may become super successful. They may make it into the league, whatever, right? You may then start to really, really get to the bag now that you implementing some of the stuff that you hear inside of the Patreon, as far as making sure that you're leveraging your background in order to ensure that you're putting other people to work. That videos in the Patreon also. You might have even blown up as a YouTuber. Whatever it is that you become successful at, you're going to have a window of opportunity, and very, very few of us actually leverage that window of opportunity correctly, right? For me, it was very important that I stayed down for an extended period of time, and I'm going to tell you why. But also on top of that, people that are around me often at times say, Anton, why don't you take a break? Or Anton, why don't you slow down? Because now that I have the visibility and platform, and I have basically, I'm at the steering wheel of the car, why would I slow down? This is the time that I now mash my foot on the gas, right? This is the time that I really, really capitalize and implement. And I got all of these marketing things that I'm about to be sharing with the Patreon members that I'm now implementing. Physical marketing as well as influencer marketing and all of that type of stuff, right? So why would I slow down? But here's the real thing. Before you spend $1, and this is going to be the hardest thing for people that get new money, it's going to be the hardest lesson that you learn. And before we get into any of these articles or the show of what's going on and who's fumbling the bag and so on and so forth, before you spend $1, and I know you hearing me now, and it's always great in theory, right? Everybody can always say what they would do. Oh, man, rich people move in silence. Oh, they could have took that money and not bought a chain and invested it in some property. I did a show on Friday where I asked people, what would you do if you got $1 million clear? Reparations, whatever. And nobody can answer the question. Some people was even honest enough to say, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Some people was even honest enough to say, yo, first 250,000, I would blow that. The other 750, I got to figure out what to do with it. Before you spend $1, a lot of y'all are making more money than you've ever made in your entire life. Some of y'all got 2 jobs. Some of y'all just got in a tech. Some of y'all getting government contracts. Some of y'all are becoming incredibly successful, and you're seeing the type of money that you never seen before. Before you spend $1, do not change your lifestyle. It's 2 things that you have to do. Really, it's 3, but it's 2 in 1. The first thing that you have to do is you cannot upgrade your lifestyle, at least for the first 5 years. You're not hearing me. You're going to get some money and you're going to want to get a new car. You're going to want to take some trips. You're going to want to splurge a little bit. You won't want to go to the Gucci store. You're going to want to say, hey, I deserve my first Rolex. If you go back to my first Rolex that I bought back in like 2016 or 18 or something like that, I was still leery. I was still sitting there like, I don't know. I don't know if it's time for us to start spending the money yet. And Rita was like, Anton, we good. Like we there. We've been saving and stacking and investing and staying down and keeping our expenses low and living for free and all of this other type of stuff. We're there now. If you go back and look at my first Rolex that I bought, my Submariner, I spent like $9,000 on it, cash. My first Submariner. I went out to the suburbs of Chicago. Spirit of moment situation. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I should start spending money yet. Because I was so invested in making sure that we was taken care of for the rest of our lives that I didn't really know what that number was. And you're going to be very, very, very tempted to spend some money and upgrade your lifestyle. But there's 3 things that you have to do. The first thing you have to do is do not change your lifestyle for the first 5 years. I'm hitting on this point super hard because it's going to be very, very hard to get it through your thick skull. Do not spend $1 upgrading your lifestyle for the first 5 years. I'm telling you, it's going to go by like that. 5 years don't take that long. It's not long at all. 5 years, please, for 5 years, don't change your lifestyle. The second thing that you have to do is get rid of every piece of consumer debt that you have. Every piece. Don't pay no interest in credit cards. Don't pay no interest in car loans. Get rid of, I know a lot of y'all don't think that the home that you live in is debt, but it is. Because they keep trying to reconfigure how it is that you think about debt so that you can continue to pay the banks and pay off everything that is draining or taking away from what it is that you budget on a monthly basis for your lifestyle. If you look at your monthly budget and you say, okay, I have $3,000 in expenses, but I bring in $6,000 a month. You don't start saying, okay, I got $3,000 in additional monies after taxes in order to be able, and it's a reason for this, and I'm gonna break it down for you really quickly, right? If you get rid of the debts first, what you do is you then allow for yourself to have that wiggle room and that capacity to really spend every dollar that you have investing in the things that matter, which then lower your tax burden. Okay, so what do you mean, Anton, by that? That means that the less money that you have to pay taxes on in order to maintain your lifestyle, the more money you have to be able to get rid of to prevent yourself from having to pay as much money in taxes later on. Okay, so Anton, what do you mean? Let's give them a little bit of a conversation of what we talk about inside of the Patreon. The money that you pay taxes on is your adjusted gross income. It's your AGI. Your AGI is a combination of what it is that you make from your business income to what it is that you pay yourself to what it is that you make on your regular job. So when you get a W-2, that goes into your AGI. When you do your business expenses and they say, okay, how much money did you make? The amount of money that you got rid of or expenses on top of whatever it is that you make. Your income minus your expenses then go into your AGI, right? Whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you make goes into your adjusted gross income, which is the thing that you then pay taxes on. Okay, so Anton, why are you telling me to stay down and get rid of the money and get rid of the debt? Well, if you have to then pay taxes on the money that you make in order to be able to maintain your lifestyle, that means that if you make $100,000 a year, you're in a 22% tax bracket. That means you got to pay taxes on your money way before you give it over into the federal, before you start to spend money on the things that you have to do on a daily basis. Food, clothing, shelter, lifestyle, whatever, right? Now, let's say I don't have any real debt, any consumer debt, anything that I have to spend money on a personal level, not on a business level, but anything that I have to spend money on a personal level. That means I don't have to worry about paying taxes in order to maintain my lifestyle, which also means that I can then allocate all of my monies towards business, which then lowers my adjusted gross income. I'm going to need you to rewind it if you're not catching it. If I don't have to spend money maintaining a lifestyle, I can then allocate all of my monies towards the business side of it. Real estate, investing in my business, right? Whatever it is it takes in order to continue to run up the check and make my business more profitable. That means it increases my net worth at the same time of lowering my tax burden. The goal is to not have a lifestyle first to then be able to allocate all of your resources into what it is that you do from a business perspective. What that does is two things: increases your net worth, lower your tax burden. That means that the things that everybody else is going to work for every day in order to maintain a lifestyle to impress people that don't care nothing about them, you're not worried about that. You focused on increasing your assets. You focused on increasing your net worth. What does increasing your net worth do? Allow for you to then have real life tax expenses or write-offs that you can then lower that final number that you have to pay taxes on, which is your adjusted gross income. So when I say when you first start getting money, get rid of the lifestyle, get rid of the debt, and then throw everything that you have into investing in yourself. Now, what is investing in yourself? That's a whole nother conversation. You need to get a coaching call. You need to join the Patreon. And then we can get into all of that, right? What is it that you can then invest in order to lower your tax burden? Completely different conversation. But what I'm telling you is that a lot of these people catch their window of opportunity and they let it go. Some of us have a window of opportunity in which we're going to make a lot of money. And it's not guaranteed to be there. It's not guaranteed to last forever. You're not guaranteed to be getting that same bag that you're now adjusting your lifestyle over to. And so before you start spending money, the reason why you need to lay down, chill out, and then make sure that you deploy all of your resources into the thing that's then going to sustain you for the rest of your life, into the assets that then generate the revenue for you, is so that you're not sitting here trying to chase that same thing that you had before. You can comfortably continue to plow forward. You can comfortably continue to build up your assets. You can comfortably continue to maintain your lifestyle after your lifestyle is now providing for you. The biggest mistake that I see people make every single day is they start spending money before their money is actually making money for them. First 5 years, get rid of everything. The first 6 months, the first year, it's going to be difficult. Because all you're doing is looking at the numbers. You're not necessarily looking at anything changing within your lifestyle. And you're going to get tempted because people are going to be like, well, if you're rich, why are you living there? Well, if you're rich, why are you still wearing the same clothes? Well, if you're rich, why are you still driving that little car that's paid for? That ain't worth nothing. Don't worry about them. That's just talking. It's like reading comments on the internet. Don't worry about that shit. Those are just avatars. Those ain't real people. Don't worry about that shit. Don't let the Instagram lifestyle, don't let the pictures, don't let Bali and Dubai and all of that shit, don't let it fool you. The real wealth is in the assets that then generate the revenue that allows for you to be able to maintain your life for the rest of your life. Fuck all of that shit. The minute that you pay off your house, you ain't got no credit card bills, then your asset starts to generate the revenue that then allows for you to be able to maintain a lifestyle. That's when you start spending money. And you still don't start running that bag up yet. You don't splurge. You just relax, chill out, and then you can start spending money as you see fit. And you snowball that shit. You gotta stay focused. It's all up here first before you start spending this, all right? Just giving you a little bit of incentive. I'll go ahead and do a Rolex reveal, right? I'll go ahead and do a Rolex reveal tomorrow after Rita pick up the new Rolex today. It's beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. You guys are absolutely going to love it. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to get started with the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Monday. Cliff Williams says, Anton, is it the Yacht Master? You're going to have to wait to see it tomorrow, Cliff. You're going to have to wait to see it tomorrow. So I'll do I always do an unboxing on the Millionaire Morning Show. So for all of my watches, even the Omega that I'm watching right now, the Rose Gold Omega, I did an unboxing, all right? Let me read a couple more super chats and then we'll get started. Shout out to Mike, that dude, also on Cash App, always hitting me off, always appreciating the game. Thank you, Mike, that dude. I appreciate you. Self-Made Forever says, AD, isn't it weird how many grown men are calling their self a partner today? No, it's not weird. It's normal. It's normal. We've been normalized. We'll get into that. We're going to get into that. Calling herself a partner today. Last time I checked, a partner and a provider is not the same thing. Also, calling a person a partner takes away gender. And this is what they normalizing. Shout out to Self-Made Forever. Yeah, it's weird for us because we move in our masculinity, but it's not weird for them because they used to being equal with everybody else. Young Capsule says, can't wait to get this coaching call and get to the bag. Already learning a ton in the Patreon. Shout out to all of my Patreon members. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, y'all. Jason Copeland says, you inspire me to do better. Well, thank you. That's one of the reasons why we do the Millionaire Morning Show, is to entertain you, but also add as much value to you as possible. Again, make sure y'all get y'all Teach Pack, 30% off your first order plus a free gift, and then tap into the Patreon. All right, so let's get into the crazy stuff. In California, I guess they said they had enough. There has been what I would just call a brawl. And before I actually say what that brawl is over, I'm going to let you guys see for yourself. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Let's get it popping.
We begin with the violent protests outside a school board meeting in Glendale, California, when masked activists clashed with parents opposed to how the district is teaching gender and sexuality.
Hold up.
Whoa. Now, the school board meeting was about making June Pride Month, which board members unanimously approved late in the evening. And as the brawl unraveled, several parents raised concerns about the school's.
You see them kicking and beating up on each other? Let me highlight that right now. First of all, let me highlight that I don't see one black person in that crowd. It may be some, I may have missed it. It may be some people that even identify as black, but I don't see one black person in this crowd at all. Which tells you one thing: that the issues and the problems that are happening across America are not just singular to what it is that you see or what you identify as. It's all across the board. Whatever your position is on what is happening in this month that has been taken over, whatever your position is on these issues, it is not gender specific. It is not race specific. It is not financially based off of your socioeconomic status. The issues that is happening across America, including a brawl erupting outside of a California school board meeting. And this brawl is based off of the idea that they want to teach sexualized curriculums to your children. Let me say that again. The brawl is over whether or not they can teach in California, your elected officials that you guys put into office, because I know it's a lot of my Californians out here watching this show. It's over whether or not they can teach a sexualized curriculum to your children, basically highlighting the things that they're celebrating in Pride Month. Let's continue.
Transgender policies, and that their children were being introduced to subject matters that they simply were not ready for.
They need to stop asking little children what they sexually identify as. Children are not sexual beings, nor should they be. The sexualization of children is pedophilia. Nothing more, nothing less.
I think it's really important to be here to stand up for all children and not be exclusive. We are an inclusive community.
Now, I have a theory. And I warned you. And this has started to happen way before I ever even had a voice, way before I was even an adult. And what it is it's a genie that you cannot put back in a bottle, and you're just seeing a snowball happen across the United States and in Western culture and even in the world. And what you're seeing is that once you let the genie out of the bottle, once we voted, once you even got Barack Obama in office and he highlighted this agenda, now you see Kamala Harris flying over into African countries, advocating for it across the world. Started with feminism, in my opinion. Now you see women like this, who are largely identified as feminists, advocating for and highlighting agendas that is now affecting what it is that your child will be subjected to in school. And I remember when people used to say, well, Anton, why would you even care about who can marry who or what rights get passed for a group that you're not in? And I said, well, everything affects everything. We were in the airport and it scared the hell out of me. Airport yesterday morning, about to catch a flight from Miami back over here to Detroit, Michigan. And aside from the chick that was being wheeled up, that was getting her BBL, never mind her. Never mind the chick that was getting wheeled up, that was sitting on her knees. I couldn't see her once she was sitting in the back anyway. I was riding first class. I went to use the restroom prior to jumping on the flight. And I kind of told this story over the weekend on Fight Club, but a lot of y'all not interested in Fight Club, and I can understand why. It can be really toxic. And this person came into the bathroom, and at first I thought it was a woman. And I was thinking to myself, what is this woman doing in the men's bathroom? But then as I looked closer, there was a little bit more brolic, had a few more muscles. And then they turned and they looked at me in the eye, and I said, ooh, that is not a biological woman. That is something else. I don't know how they identify. So I'm going to just say that person. I didn't know their name, so I couldn't call them their name. It was a little bit more aggressive, and the urinals was open. But they wanted to go in the stall, and so they kind of brushed up against the door of the stall, and I'm sure the person, whoever was in the stall, was a little bit more startled than I was when I looked over and I looked at the person in their face. But I guess the person had to go to the restroom so bad, and I will be releasing it on my vlog probably on Tuesday. You'll see my long form vlog. A lot of y'all know that on the Anton Daniels channel, I do the long-term vlogging or the long form vlogging where it'd be like an hour long. You will see this. It's the first thing that I ever experienced in my life in real life. And I guess they had to go to the restroom so bad that they went ahead and winged it on the urinal. They said, ugh, and pulled it out on the urinal. And I said, oh my God. But that's not the end of the story. That's not the end of the story. The story ends like this. So I come out of the restroom after washing my hands. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted to see what the person was going to do after they rubbed up against didn't want to use the urinal, and then once they went to use the urinal, I said, oh my God, it's real. This is really happening in real life. So I wash my hands, I go outside, and then I'm standing and I'm waiting on Rita. And then another young man or a young person who I would initially identify as a man comes out of the women's restroom. So I guess one of them said, I'm going for the women's restroom, and the other one said, I'm going for the men's restroom. And they just so happen to be friends, I guess, because one waited for the other as the other came out of the other restroom, and then they walked down the hallway together, and I went ahead and went to H11 to go and catch my flight. H11 is the Delta terminal over in Miami, the MIA airport, and I went ahead and caught my flight. Wildest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. So then when I hear people say stuff to me like, well, why do you care when it doesn't affect you? Why wouldn't it affect me? What if my daughter was in there using the restroom, my 15-year-old daughter? It does affect me. It's affecting what your children will be taught in these curriculums. It's affecting where your tax dollars are going to go because you're paying for these government assistance programs that then put people in a position to be able to level up and become more successful. So when I say that we're arguing against principalities and that everything that happens inside of this society affects us, it's real. Let me go ahead and continue with the story.
I'm a Christian. I go to an inclusive church. I believe in God, and God loves all.
I'm completely against the law that they're trying to pass to teach little kids in the school, 6 years old, to decide about sexual things. They don't even know what's going on.
Teaching a 6-year-old about sexuality, I mean, this should be common sense. But if you feel similar to those parents and you want to say in your child's education, you might get put on a hate group list. The far-left Southern Poverty Law Center has added multiple parents' rights organizations, labeling them as hate and anti-government groups akin to neo-Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan, including Moms of Liberty. The SPLC's statement on the designation reads, quote, at the forefront of this mobilization is Moms for Liberty, a Florida-based group with vast connections to the GOP that this year the SPLC designated as an extremist group. They can be spotted at school board meetings across the country wearing shirts and carrying signs that declare, we do not co-parent with the government. The group hijacks meetings, preventing officials and parents from conducting their normal proceedings.
The Moms of Liberty, the Southern Poverty Law Center, thank you to the Service USA, I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. The Southern Poverty Law Center is declaring Moms of Liberty basically a terrorist group. because they're advocating against and exercising their right to free speech and to protest against 6-year-olds from being taught things that their parents don't want them to be taught inside of the schools. Now, as somebody please inform me as to why it makes sense for us to actually protest against this, and then for the Southern Poverty Law Center to highlight how these people are basically preventing officials and parents from conducting their normal proceedings. Shout out to Yvette Marie. I appreciate you, love. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Whenever I see people say sign of the times, I always just brush it off. But now I'm starting to believe it. We live in a wild time, y'all, where good is bad and bad is good. And now we exist in a space where you literally had a woman on here talking about she's a Christian and she goes to an all-inclusive church, and their church is actually advocates for what it is that's happening over in California, in which they can then teach a 6-year-old whatever it is that they want to teach a 6-year-old.
We'll get to that hogwash in just a moment, Kennedy. But let's start with Glendale, California. You know, this meeting was about making LGBT month something in the school, but it was about much more than that, as the parents noted. One parent said, "My daughter is afraid to change in the locker room because she knows another guy could come into the room. When I asked the principal, he told me there were no cross-gender bathroom policies." Another Daily Signal excerpt on this. Additional documents revealed that Glendale staff have attempted to incorporate LGBTQ plus materials and ideology into curriculum. One assistant principal even told staff to teach children that every person is by default queer and.
Is this not the wildest thing that y'all have ever heard in your entire life? Additional documents revealed that Glendale staff, shout out to the Service USA and everybody that's contributing super chats, I'm going to be reading that shortly. Glendale staff have attempted to incorporate the alphabet materials and ideology into other curriculums. One assistant principal even told staff to teach children, and this is a quote, that every person is, by default, queer and socialist. It is my responsibility, I believe, to use my platform to continue to bring visibility into the things that you guys may not be aware of. I pay attention to what's going on in every single state, and I try to pull the most important stories out, in addition to the finances and the resources and all of that other type of stuff and the entertainment. I try to pull the most important stories out to keep you guys informed so that you can make your own decision as to how it is that you need to move within your legislative branches, within your own families and children, and in your own communities. It's crazy out here. It is absolutely insane. So I believe that a lot is going to happen and a lot is going to change as we continue to navigate forward. I think you're seeing it even play out in California, and California could quite possibly be one of the most liberal states that there is. Meaning that once you start to infringe on people's rights and their children, that may be enough. Once you start tapping into what people feel like with their own children, that's enough. I think that that's the breaking point where you start to see people fight back. Shout out to Carrie. I'm about to read the super chats right now. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification. Let me read these super chats, and then we're going to move over into the next story. Service USA said, "Good morning, family. Get the likes up." The likes ain't up. Do we need to go to a Teach commercial? I'm going to give y'all a minute to get the likes up. Shout out to the Service USA. My girl, Yvette Marie, is in the building, says love and support, big bro. Shout out to all of my bag chasers. Yvette Marie is one of the original bag chasers. Levite Apparel says it's sad. I agree. Thank you for the 2-ball. Service USA says the best form of protest is not to play the game. Pull your kids out of public schools and begin a homeschooling business. SPLC is a scam organization. Southern Poverty Law Center is what he's talking about specifically. Shout out to the Service USA. Carrie Spencer says, Anton, I just DM'd you a copy of this crossword puzzle my cousin's 9th grade son was given to do in health English class. Topic, you got to be kidding me, Carrie. Carrie, you got to be kidding me. That can't be right. I'm going to have to check your DMs. After the show, shout out to Carrie. She said, hashtag homeschool. After the show, I'm going to check the DMs, and that's something that we might address tomorrow. That's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Let's continue with the show. So, when I did a story, or I did a breakdown, I believe it was last week or the week before, and I told you guys, I said, there's no way that I'm buying any place or that I'm investing in these southern states. Because contrary to popular belief, the climate is changing whether you believe in global warming or not. Doesn't even matter. Y'all can argue back and forth and y'all can do all of that you want to do. But the climate is changing regardless of how you feel, right? And so when you look at how it is that you're investing, a lot of people are just Me Too's. And when I say Me Too's, they look at whatever the most popular thing that's happening from a financial perspective is, and then they start to lean into that thing as though that's going to make them rich. It's not. Even when you're getting into real estate, a lot of people are going to lose their shirts. A lot of people are going to lose their shirts getting into real estate. And I am very, very careful, and I take a long-term approach. If you have not watched the video of the 8 things that I look for when I'm looking to make an investment, you need to go back into the Patreon and watch that video. I dropped it last year. In Florida, specifically, over 1 million homeowners are facing double-digit rate hikes in insurance. And there's really only one main insurance company that still exists in Florida, because it's a potential disaster zone. And insurance companies are going out of business as a result of participating in certain environments and states. And it has nothing to do with the liberal policies or the conservative policies or anything like that. It has everything to do. It's a reason why I tell anybody that lives in Louisiana, get the fuck out. Anybody that lives in Louisiana, run. Don't buy a house. Don't buy a property. If you can, get rid of the property as soon as possible and get the hell out of Louisiana. All right? Let's go ahead and get into the story. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Oh, hold on. Feel like this is not audio, is not playing correctly. Let me see if I can get that in. See if I can get that audio popping.
I'm Jameson Euler.
And I'm Wendy Ryan. Thank you for joining us. Citizens Property Insurance is proposing an average 14% increase on all personal lines of policies. That means homeowners, condo owners, mobile homeowners, and renters. Remember, Citizens is the last resort property insurance provider in the state, and only those who are left with no other affordable options can sign up.
ABC.
It's the last insurance company that insures these type of properties down in Florida. Florida is just one example of it. This is happening all over the United States. It's the last remaining one for them to even have availability to be able to get this type of insurance in this area in the first place. Over 1 million homeowners are facing double-digit rate hikes. If y'all don't understand how insurance companies work, I can do a whole breakdown on it. What the business model is, how they go out of business, how they make money, why Warren Buffett initially invested in insurance companies in order to continue to build his legacy and his portfolio. Let's continue.
Action News in-depth reporter Stasi Almos has been covering the property insurance crisis for months now. She joins us in the studio with what this means for homeowners right here in the Bay Area. Stasi?
Well, guys, right now, Citizens is supposed to be the last resort option here, but I've been covering this issue for almost 2 years, and again, people tell me it's their only option. And here's why. Nearly a dozen private companies have gone insolvent in the last couple years, they claim, due to outrageous lawsuit costs. Dozens more have pulled out of the state or stopped writing new business, and overall, rates. Homeowners are seeing their insurance costs double, even triple, as companies try to pay their expenses. So, yes.
Rita and I we had the opportunity to go and look at some properties down in Florida. And if you go from Miami over to Miami Beach, or Miami Beach over back to Miami, because it's two different things. A lot of people don't realize that, but it is two different places. There's this island, and I forgot what the name of the island is, where it's all of these beautiful homes. And it's basically you got to take a bridge to get on it or a bridge to get off of it. And they have a security guard over there. And so we winged it. We seen the security guard turning different people that wasn't supposed to be over there, that wasn't either a visitor or whatever that wasn't supposed to be there, turn them away. But we winged it because we had the Lamborghini, and we was like, well, let's see if he'll let us in. So he looked out and he seen the car and he looked at us. He was like, oh, yeah, you guys are good. And he went ahead and let us in, right? And we seen some properties being built, and some of them was awesome and things like that. And we wind up going on Redfin and the different applications in order to look at the value for some of these properties and whatever like that. And we looked at them, and then we start doing a little bit of research when we got home. And some of these properties was between 5 and 10 million. Some of them was 3 million. Some of them was 14 million, right? Star Island, that's what it is. Shout out to Connie Mathis. It's Connie, no. Connie, you must be over there. Kevin, Jared, all of y'all. Big Smooth, Star Island. Everybody know what it is, right? So we was over there, and so y'all know exactly what I'm talking about then. Everybody over there that's living in Florida know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you go over to Star Island, it's some beautiful spaces, beautiful homes, but they got a security guard. So in order to be able to get in there, you got to kind of finesse, especially if you're not visiting somebody. But, we start looking at all of the research and everything like that, right? And the thing about it is just that I told Rita at the end of the day, I said, it's no way that I would ever buy a property over in Florida, even right here in a beautiful Star Island. There's no way that I would ever spend any money buying property over in Florida because A, the cost of even having insurance, B, the ability to be able to sell the property, and then C, is it a smart real estate investment? Rita is smitten, absolutely smitten with Southern Florida. If Rita could pick up and move to Southern Florida today, if I let her move to Southern Florida today, she would be gone tomorrow. If I let her move to Southern Florida today, she would be gone tomorrow. Rita plays no game. She is absolutely in love with Southern Florida. But when I start, see, this is one of the reasons why women need a man in their life. This is one of the reasons why a woman need a man in their life. Because I start looking at it from a business perspective, and I say, Rita, this don't make sense. We listen, we gonna come and visit. We gonna have a good time. We gonna write it off as a business expense because it's very much important for us to take care of business when we're down in Florida. But it's no way, no how. I don't know how y'all justifying buying property and moving into Florida. Somebody gonna have to fill me in of why it makes sense. I'm curious if somebody is a real estate investor and they are leveraging the majority of their resources over to stay in Florida. Please let me know because I am not familiar. I am very much open to learning. But Florida, in my opinion, it's a great place to live when it comes to having a phenomenal governor, but it is a horrible place to live when it comes to looking at it as a long-term investment. I am advocating against everybody from ever investing in Florida. Let's continue.
Yes, Citizens now has a record number of policies. Prior to 2020, they averaged about 400,000 policies. Today, they tell me about 1.3 million. One of those is Inda Stagg.
Citizens was my only option. No one else would touch me.
Inda Staggs lives in a quaint 1926 home in St. Petersburg.
I moved here in 2018. The insurance it doubled by 2020.
She says it went from about $3,000 to $6,000. And last year,
they told me my insurance was going to go up to almost $13,000.
It went from $3,000 for that house. Look at that house right there. Most of the houses in Florida is not even that good looking. I'm going to be honest with you. Florida is very much, let me not say Florida, Miami is very much the perfect display of class wars. It's the perfect display of class wars. It is a rich person's paradise. It is a middle class person's nightmare. It is a rich person's paradise. It is a middle-class person's nightmare. She said it's basically went from 3 to 6, and now she's looking at it to being $13,000. $13,000 from $3,000 for that little shack. For that little shack. $13,000 from $3,000 just for insurance. That ain't got nothing to do with property taxes. That ain't got nothing to do with maintenance. That don't have nothing to do with any of that. I'm telling you, every single thing that you do, you need to look at it from a business perspective. When I see, somebody said everybody is moving there. When I see everybody doing something, I usually try to figure out why it makes sense for me to do the opposite. When I see everybody doing something there, I usually try to figure out how I can do the opposite. Because I know it's a red flag in there. It's a red flag in there somewhere.
Which was crazy.
She says the next insurance company she got dropped her within 1 month, and the only option left was Citizens.
$4,555 a year for my 1,100 square foot home.
A third of what her insurance would have been with her first insurer, but still 3 times the amount she was paying in Virginia in 2018.
I have nightmares about the insurance here.
And the nightmares are getting worse.
I'm very concerned about what's going to happen this year because I know it's going to go up maybe 15%. And I got a notice that said if another company offers you within 20%, then you have to take it.
New legislation passed in the second special session on property insurance last year makes a homeowner ineligible for Citizens if another company offers to take their policy at a rate within 20% of Citizens. It also requires all Citizens homeowners to get supplemental flood insurance, no matter their flood zone. And now the state-regulated company is asking the Office of Insurance Regulation for an average 14% rate increase.
And guess what? It's not going to stop there. Every single year is going to go up more and more and more and more and more. And I'm telling y'all, look, she said paying more. She's paying more than triple of what she was paying in Virginia. Take your ass back to Virginia. When we were in California, when we were talking to people, and I was asking them, I said, you know, because we did the boardwalk and then we walked down to Venice Beach and we were having a conversation and we were strolling, holding hands and kissing and all of that other type of stuff, right? We was being in love. And I would ask people, I said, man, why do y'all live in Cali? I even asked my dog Jay Woodfin, because we wound up having dinner there and whatever like that. I said, why do y'all live in California? He said, it's the weather. It's the weather. We don't care about the taxes. We don't care about the governor. We don't care about what they teaching our kids in school. We don't care about how much it costs us to live. We don't care about the immigration policies. We don't care about none of that. It's all about the weather. I'm amazed. I am absolutely floored and amazed at how much you guys are willing to sacrifice as far as your quality of life in order to stay in a place that's not even conducive for your lifestyle. Y'all pay these egregious prices. Homes about to be washed away. I just can't, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Let's continue.
Citizens is incredibly inexpensive. They don't want to write any business, but they're taking on a huge amount of risk. So it puts the policyholders at risk. It puts the citizens in the state of Florida at risk.
Tampa Bay insurance agent Mike Puffer says he's writing almost all of his new business with Citizens. The others have homes valued above Citizens' max of $700,000.
Even what we're seeing when we have to endorse a lot of the policies or write flood policies, it's still cheaper than if they were to just buy a standalone policy through the private market.
According to Citizens, an analysis of homeowners'
Look at them
rates in
small
2022
homes.
found their average premium was 44% below premiums charged by 9 private companies in the state. Looking at their latest data from the end of March, Citizens has about 1.3 million policies, with nearly $3.9 million from premiums and surcharges, compared to $502 million in total exposure, meaning the amount of everything they are insuring.
If I'm considering leaving because of the insurance, I honestly don't know what people who have less than I do.
But here's the problem. And here's the problem, ma'am. It doesn't even matter if you're considering leaving at this point. You know why? Because it's going to be very difficult to find somebody to buy your property. And so when you're looking at this type of stuff from a business perspective, ladies and gentlemen, you have to look at it objectively of what the next person is going to do and whether or not you can stick them with your worthless property when you get ready to leave. I'm telling you, it's going to be gnashing of the teeth. Remember this day. I always say I told you so. Monday, June 12th, 2023, it's going to be gnashing of the teeth. It's going to be a lot of complaining. They've been kicking the can down the road. And I'm telling you, it's going to be bad. It's going to be very, 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 very bad for the majority of people. And you know what else the funniest part about it? I see them just keep on building over there in Florida. I see buildings going up, homes going up. Is nobody else paying attention to what's happening over in the Florida economy but me? I go down there and I study Florida so I can know how I need to invest more into the Midwest. I'm over there and sometimes me and Rita, we will take a day and we will literally go through and ride through wherever it is that we are in Florida to better understand what the hell is going on. Why do they build the houses like that? Do they even have basements? How often do this area get flooded? We ask ourselves these questions because it's very important for us to understand why people are doing the stuff that they're doing. Why is everybody so dedicated to going down there? Is it that deep? Is the dating that important? Is the weather that important? You can't just fly back and forth. Okay, listen, I'm going to go and rent something for 3 to 6 months down in Florida during the winter, and then I'm going to come back for the summer. I don't know. I don't understand why y'all doing what y'all doing, but it is absolutely weird to me. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats, and then we're going to continue with the show. Johnny Mathis says, when Anton seen black women moving to Houston, he knew that wasn't a place. Oh, Houston is dead to me. Houston is absolutely dead to me. No way would I ever consider moving to Houston. Houston is the new Atlanta. Shout out to Johnny Mathis Jr. Carl Oakley says, just moved to Tampa from NC, from North Carolina, and this is the perfect market and area to invest in. We'll be buying my second property within a year. Other areas include St. Pete, Clearwater, Sarasota, and some cities close to Orlando. Carl, don't do it. Carl, let me beg you. I beg of you, Carl. Do not look at the current market conditions. Do not compare it to what it is that you see over in Miami, 4 to 5 hours away, 45-minute plane ride away. Do not compare it to what it is that you see happening in Orlando. Don't compare it to what you see happening in Clearwater or Naples or anything like that. Carl, I beg of you. Carl, listen to me. If you are going to have an investment property, do not do it in Florida. I beg you. If you are a bag chaser, you need to send me a message. Let me convince you. Let me sell you on the idea that you should not do it. Florida Boy 727, don't listen to him. Yo, we need to have a debate. We need to have a real money debate because y'all, it's not about the current condition. It's not about the lifestyle over in Tampa. It's not about the weather. It's not about none of that. It's about the long-term market conditions of what is going to happen in Southern Florida in general. I'm telling you, don't do it. I know y'all gonna do what y'all want to do anyway. Don't say that I did not tell you. Do not say that I didn't tell you. I warned y'all. I told y'all, don't do it. You can live there. You can have a good time, but do not invest. Do not invest from a real estate perspective, long-term, in what is happening in Florida. That is my answer. That is what I'm going to tell y'all. That is what I'm going to tell y'all to do. Play it however y'all want to play it from there. Don't do it, Carl. Don't do it, Carl. Billanico says, Warren Buffett once said, it is wise for investors to be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. That is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Listen, y'all can live where y'all want to live. I'm telling you where you're going to put your investments at. Investments. We talking about long term. And when y'all know when I'm investing and when I'm thinking about doing things, anything, I'm looking at it from a 10, 20, 30, 40 year view. When they don't even want to ensure what's going on over there, that's a red flag, bro. God bless y'all. Let's move over into the next thing. Now we're going to get to the All right, so Paul Pierce. Last year, I broke down Paul Pierce because Paul Pierce, in my opinion, had fumbled the bag. He had fumbled the bag as far as his opportunities for being on national networks. And a lot of times we always say, well, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. It's not really that big of a deal because it was an NBA player. They made a lot of money or whatever like that. Listen, I'm not one to really be counting people's pockets. I'm one to be evaluating whether or not people are fumbling the bag. I don't know what his investments are or anything like that, but I am one of those type of people that focus on whether or not you fumble in the bag. And last year, Paul Pierce got caught up on a live stream, smoking trees, had strippers in there and all of that other type of stuff. It wasn't even a live stream. I think it was an IG Live or something like that. And so obviously he fumbled that bag because he was on national TV. Manifest, I'm going to read that super chat shortly. He was on national TV, continuing to climb the ranks, becoming more visible. Paul Pierce, even though I don't think he's as articulate and as good as a TV personality as like a Shannon Sharp, he's supposed to be in that same space as the Jalen Roses. He's supposed to be in there with the Jalen Rose, the Shannon Sharps, the Shaqs, all of them type of guys, right? But Paul Pierce fumbled the bag. And instead of him being humble about it and making the adjustment, he doubled down and said, I don't really care because I'm investing in a cannabis company. Okay, cool. So Paul Pierce decided to get on a live stream with Kevin Garnett in which they review what was going on in Game 3 for the NBA Finals. And this is what you've seen from Paul Pierce. Let's go ahead and get started. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications.
Man, I need Miami to win. I got cheese up. We need some more work.
I don't even know.
We need some more work. You want me to call some more work?
No.
I just want Miami to win.
Man. No, we're working. No. This ain't
environment.
This ain't P after dark. It's like watching the game at the crib or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Just throw a wall in here and turn.
What's up? Wings and drink.
Who like one of your fouls?
Now, what you're seeing here right now is basically a clipped up version of this live stream, right? Now, I'm not sure if Paul Pierce remembered that he was live streaming, but they was live streaming on behalf of, I believe it's Showtime. And Kevin Garnett was apparently catching a bag for it, right? He was getting money for it. And Paul Pierce is here apparently drunk. Apparently drunk. Now, we've seen no shortage of NBA players come out here and fumble the bag. Ja Morant's, the young, the old, the retired, the currently playing, the Zion Williamson getting finessed by chicks for the streets, P-stars, and OF models. We've seen this been playing out. For some reason or another, a lot of these guys, Shaquille O'Neal was getting caught up in chicks' DMs. Somebody just sent me a story today that she got caught in the chicks' DMs or something like that. Basketball players are the new bag fumblers of the decade. And Paul Pierce is here. Beginning of the game. Showtime Sports, live streaming, drunk as hell. And this is some of the stuff that he was saying.
They got to get the goddamn flopping out the league, man.
I got a stomach. I got a wing in my tooth.
They supposed to be watching and reviewing the game. He acting like he at home in his crib, in his basement.
Hey, how you doing?
Camille,
nice to meet you.
They got a website that you can hire girlfriends for the day.
Stop, man.
And so I got a girlfriend. You can hire a girlfriend.
Paul Pierce got Camille from a website where you can hire girls for the day. Paul Pierce is on a live stream. Thank you to Executive Suite MLE. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Paul Pierce is on a live stream telling his homeboy about how he hired Camille from a website where you can get a girlfriend for the day. Jesus. Oh my God. Come on, man. Come on, dog. Y'all can't be this dumb. Y'all thought that they was better than y'all? They Simpson tricks even worse than y'all. They Simpson tricks with money. Camille, this dude gotta rent a girl. He gotta rent a girl. And he's telling Kevin Garnett, who's basically like, fam, chill out. What you doing? He's saying this on a live stream. Listen.
Stop, man.
I went on the website and I hired a girl.
Look right here. Look, Collins. There go Collins. Oh, look at D-Wade at the game. Okay, D-Wade.
You can start that website.
This is a live stream, P. We're live. We're streaming. Whatever you're saying, they can hear you.
Nah, Vincent ain't in the game.
Vincent right there, P. Number 2, taking the ball.
Where?
Got the ball, P.
No, I'm talking about the other dude. Let me get a margarita, my boy.
Somebody cut Paul Pierce off. Somebody cut Paul Pierce off. These are y'all heroes. Did y'all know that Paul Pierce was nominated as one of the 75 greatest players of all time? Money does not make you a better person. Resources only put you in a position to where it shows who your true character is. It exponentially multiplies your access into things that you're not supposed to be doing on a regular basis. Talk about bag fumbling. Talk about simps. Talk about setups. Talk about suckers. Paul Pierce is one of the biggest suckers. This dude went on the internet to go and find him a girlfriend for the day. He went on the internet to go and find him Camille. It ain't even we don't even know if this is Camille's real name. DMT, I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. Shout out to Persevere Data TV. Look at this fool, y'all.
His nickname is Jeff Flurry.
Stop.
Can I get a margarita?
Security, sir? Where's your name tag, sir? Sir? Right, you got to remember we live stream, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody here who's joining us on Showtime Basketball.
Did y'all see this dude? Let me rewind that for a second. Look at Paul Pierce, y'all. Look at this fool. Look.
Right, you got to remember we live stream, you know what I'm saying?
Look at Paul Pierce, y'all. Look at this fool. If he had any opportunities before, they are all gone. They are all gone. No reputable place, not a ESPN, not a Fox Sports, not a FanDuel, none of that is ever looking for Paul Pierce to get his insight on how it is that he needs to start a show. Talk about a fool. Oh my God, what a simp, what a trick. I can't believe these basketball players is tricking like this. Gilbert Arenas gave some horrible advice to Zion the other day. Broken. Don't even know this chick. Rented a girlfriend for the day.
Shout out to everybody here who's joining us on Showtime Basketball. We in the KG Show. It's thick in here, baby. We're here watching the finals.
Where are we at, though? What's this called?
Man, dog, we're in the KG Sports.
He's Jeff Flurry.
Again, we're live streaming.
That was a PP. I'm changing my glasses.
What? If you called today.
Look at this idiot.
We're doing.
Let me post you up, you little motherfucker.
Live stream. We here, baby. Y'all know what it is, right?
What I got on me? Troop in the building. Jeff Flurry.
We're going to give parental guidance on live streams. Yeah, it's live. It's live.
Look at this fool.
Bert, Lord.
She don't even want it. I guess Rent a Girlfriend, he didn't read the disclaimer. She got to actually like you too. Just because you got money don't mean that she like you either. Rent a Girlfriend. Look at this junk. Look at this.
Live.
She says, stop. Stop. She said, stop. Paul Pierce about to get banned from Rent a Girlfriend. Stop, Paul. Paul, stop kissing me like that. That hoe says stop. Whenever you get a hoe tell you stop, you know you're doing something wrong. When the hoes is telling you stop and you rich, you one of the biggest simps, the biggest suckers. When the hoes is telling you stop, you one of the biggest suckers ever. Look, check this. Look at how cringe that is. I should blow that up even more. Look at how cringe-worthy that is right there. Look at that. Talk about embarrassing yourself. The truth. You know we used to call this guy the truth. That was his nickname on the court. The truth ain't in you. He just caught a case on a live stream. Paul Pierce just caught a case in front of his friend KG on a live stream. She says, stop. Let's see if we can get that audio back again. Let's see if we can increase the audio. Listen.
Stop. Bert, Lord.
Stop. Paul Pierce rented a girlfriend that don't want him on a live stream. These y'all heroes? Stop. Stop.
Bert.
Jeff Flurry.
No, we're working. We're working. We're not popping. We're working.
Where? Show me the live stream.
It's right here. Look.
Show me the likes and the comments and all that on. So this live right now. What y'all asking? Oh, this is it. Hey, this is crazy.
I know, Lord. I know.
This dude drunk out of his mind.
I wish Duncan Robinson.
You know your microphone's still on.
She said, I said, you don't know what's going on. She said, I mean, I like it. I don't know.
How come, yo, you know what make dudes weird? And let's say y'all out and he with the girl or whatever, and every time he tell a joke or every time that she laugh, he reach into her lap. Go and touch her ass, touch her titties. Just because these dudes got money and they millionaires do not mean that they know how to act around women, that they not getting finesse, that a woman likes him, and that he not out here catching cases on a live stream. This dude keep forgetting that he got a hot microphone. Somebody get Paul Pierce up out of there. Yo, Showtime like, yo, this is great promotion for us. Ha ha ha, yeah, baby. She like, She don't even want that nigga. She don't even want him. Don't matter what kind of chain you got on. Don't matter how many points you scored. You still a lame. You still a lame. You still a lame.
Never wear my ice for the TV, y'all, so check it out. I mean, we all made it. Say, baby, I know you got some ice.
Chill.
Say it, no, baby. Hey, me. Check it out, baby. They talking close up. Boom, close up on that. Hit the light with that.
Look, now we gonna pressure you.
Trash.
Yeah, come that pressure me. Yeah.
Trash watch.
Call some girls up, y'all. Let's call some
Trash
work.
watch.
Let's get it. I'm telling you. Everybody was wondering
Hey, they had. hey. They literally paused the live stream. They had to pause a Showtime live. Y'all know Showtime, you can cuss on Showtime and stuff, right? Trash watch. Garbage pail watch, worth nothing. Let's continue to watch. I want to see the whole thing. Look at this idiot. Paul Pierce is the dumbest person out right now outside of Ja Morant.
Ooh, Yes, sir. Yeah, y'all back with us. We back with it. You're in the playoffs with the Heat. You want to have certain matchups.
And let's keep it 100.
This is a good game, yo. This is a good game.
Keep it 100. Keep it 98.
No.
Cause you dumb or fucking stupid. If a nigga was getting killed over LeBron's and not Jordan's,
So, Pete, let me ask you something. Don't go.
then I have LeBron to go.
Putting different look.
Yeah.
Okay. You heard his thumb, bro. You know what I'm
I'm gonna
saying?
put Pete Pierce off the dark on OnlyFans. Monetize this.
Man, damn. Hey, look.
Can I light this? They don't allow smoke? Margarita?
Oh, man.
Is there smoking in here? He don't know either. He said, I don't know.
No, it's no smoking in
He
here.
said, I don't know.
There's no smoke. Hey, Paul. There's no smoking in here. Cages just told you there's no smoking in here. And Paul went ahead and fired it up anyway. He talking about connecting with chicks for fans only. That's why I don't put no stock in these people, man. I don't put no stock in you just because you famous or you rich or anything like that. That don't mean nothing to me. You got to be a decent person because these dudes is just out here looking like whole fools. This motherfucker. I hate going out with people like this in real life. I can't stand going out with people like this because they just make it difficult. And then you got to spend the whole night trying to make sure that you protect them from themselves. I hate going out with people like this.
They say we trying to sign truth.
He said, I don't know, Lord. Give me a lighter. Yeah, nigga. Who you think you talking to? Hey, my boy, don't make me smack you. I already know. We watching this game, though.
Relax, man. Relax, man. Relax.
I'm
You burnt.
saying,
You
though,
burnt.
we throwing
Relax.
at me.
It came from here. Relax.
All right, no.
Watch the game, Lord. Get on the game.
Can we talk to you about a margarita, please?
You good? You good?
Why does this dude keep drinking margaritas, bro? What is you, a 13-year-old girl that's just drinking for the first time? Keep asking for a margarita.
You good?
I didn't know who it came from.
76-60, man.
It felt like it came from over here.
Nah, the
Smack
heat
me in
is
the face,
control.
my boy. Hey, I can't even say this on the air. Y'all the shit in the face, Lord. Like, what you want me to do? I saw it.
Bro, we live. We should chill. We good. We good.
I
know. We good. It's over, Pete.
End it.
Don't go ahead.
Motherfuckers think I'm like some bitch. Motherfucker, like I'm going to give up.
Keep talking about the fourth quarters and all this.
So, P After Dark, we doing this on another platform because y'all don't want this content.
Oh, no, what?
We're going to have beautiful girls like this right here. Can I get another margarita? Margarita?
Man, they showed up. I thought Denver was, man. Come on, True.
Say what's up.
Yeah, these are fun games, too.
Say
You know
what's
what?
up.
These games, but these games bring something in it.
Bellagio,
Look,
10 o'clock, meet me there.
Look, what happened?
So he
Hold on, chill. Hold on. Tell me later. Tell me later, P. Tell me later, P. Tell me later, P.
It's not.
Yeah, 3-time D Wade at the game. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, remember last night we was with the,
With my girl?
With my girl. Yeah, I remember I was with
This dude about to get Kevin Garnett in trouble. This dude on a live stream literally about to get Kevin Garnett in trouble. Kevin Garnett said, hey, well, my girl, you mean, I was out with my girl last night? Yeah. What the heck? We don't need friends like this. Listen, you don't need friends like this. He literally about to throw his own homie under the bus. Oh, you don't need friends like this. Paul Pierce is the worst. The worst ever. This is why we don't be able to go out. This is why your chick always be acting shifty when you go out. You don't need no friends like this. Hold on. So, Paul Pierce goes out and embarrasses himself. looking like a whole fool, not a half fool. Let me read super chats, and then we're gonna get to the rest of this, because we not done with Paul Pierce. We smoking on Paul Pierce tonight, y'all. We smoking on that Paul pack. But before we get to it, let me go ahead and read some of these super chats. Manifest King May says, what do you think about Northern Florida, Jacksonville, or you? No, nowhere in Florida. Don't invest nowhere in Florida. Walk away from Florida, man. I know y'all obsessed with Florida. Get away from Florida. Get out of there. Service USA says, looking at Airbnb business boom in Florida. You know how competitive you got to be able to compete in Florida, Southern Florida, in the Airbnb business. Y'all not built for that either. Executive Suite MLE says, I work in the insurance industry. Hurricane season has been brutal the last few years. It makes it very hard to insure certain areas, hence higher premiums. Executive Suite MLE is giving y'all the sauce. It's giving y'all the finesse. DMT says, who you think Zion, Poole, and Ja and them learn the game from? You really hate to see it. The OGs. The OGs is over here messing up the bag and then influencing the dudes that come after them to mess up the bag. You ain't lying, DMT. Persevere Data TV says, it's funny because it's on par with celebrities crashing out with women and drugs as of late. It's sad because you're sabotaging your friend's platform and helping him and fumbling his bag. See, it's one thing to fumble your own bag, but it's another thing to fumble your homie's bag. Persevere Data TV says, all the athletes want to be rappers and the rappers want to be athletes. And it's all making for a toxic program. Carl Oakley says, it be your own homies that can ruin the bag for you. The stabbing, the firing from ESPN, and everything else that's happened all makes sense now. Because they don't want to be dealing with this. When a company hires you, even as an athlete, they want to know if you're a cultural fit. If they think that you're going to be out here fumbling the bag like Paul Pierce, they don't want to have to protect you from yourself anymore. Tia Marie says he's actually acting like a broke dude that just got his tax returns in a club. Facts. Yo, look at this watch. Yo. It's a bust down trash watch. It's giving he's smoking more than weed. He might be having that fentanyl in there. We don't know. Stephen A has some thoughts about this. And I want to share Stephen A's thoughts about this. Let me know what y'all think. Make sure y'all get the likes up. Do we need to go to a Teach commercial? I will hit the button for the Teach right now if y'all don't get the likes up. Let's continue.
I never enjoy this kind of stuff, but I have no choice. Paul Pierce, former NBA champion with the Boston Celtics, nicknamed The Truth. Could absolutely ball, Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. And person I happen to think is a really decent dude.
Stephen A need to work on getting his audio together. His audio is too low, man, but we're going to work with it. We're going to see what we can do with it.
He joined his former teammate Kevin Garnett on their on Kevin Garnett's Ticket and the Truth podcast, which was streaming Game 3 of the NBA Finals this past Wednesday night. Things started to go off the rails quickly because fans noticed that Paul Pierce was apparently drunk, or at least his behavior.
And high.
Seemed to be that of an individual who was drunk, slurring his speech and all of this other stuff. This is what they were saying. Observers of the live stream noticed a woman sitting partially out of frame to Pierce's right. Eventually, he introduced her to Garnett as Camille, and then told everyone that they met through, quote, a website where you can hire girlfriends from.
Yo, GM, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. It still sounds silly to me to think that these dudes is hiring girlfriends from websites. Ain't they supposed to be high value men?
According to reports, Pierce's behavior got even wilder. For a solid minute, Garnett struggled to share his game analysis because Pierce demanded the camera zoom in on him so he could show everyone his diamond watch. He then started to worry about a bet he placed on Miami before getting his phone out of his pocket and saying, quote, let's call some girls up, y'all. Let's call some.
He bet on Miami and he lost that bet. On top of it, he bet on Miami and he lost.
Work. At that point, the stream abruptly went offline for a few minutes. By mid-game, Pierce became combative. He produced a cigar, chewed on it for a bit, and then asked if he could light it up inside, which ended with Pierce getting nailed in the face by a lighter thrown by someone from off camera. That set him off and had him ready to fight until Garnett calmed him down. For those of you...
If Paul Pierce had got beat up on camera, I would have had a field day with that.
Who don't remember, he used to be my colleague at ESPN.
Yep.
Until 2017.
And got let go.
Before we go any further, if you don't believe what I'm saying, check out at least some of this for yourself.
Throw a wall in here and turn it up, you know what I'm saying?
Kevin.
Hey, how you doing?
Camille,
nice to meet you. That's Formula One everywhere, ain't it? Formula One
so
everywhere.
This is my girlfriend for the day. They got a website that you can hire girlfriends for the day.
Stop, man.
And so I got a girlfriend for the day.
Stop, man. Stop.
You can hire girlfriends for the day. I went on the website and I hired a girlfriend for the day.
Look, Collins. There go Collins. Look at D. Wade at the game.
Y'all might find it funny.
That's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I don't.
It's hilarious.
I find it kind of sad, to be quite honest with you.
And sad and hilarious.
You're a champion.
A loser.
You know the game of basketball. Let me tell you something about Kevin Garnett. He's serious as a heart attack. That brother takes all his work serious. He don't joke around. He don't mess around. He don't take shortcuts with any.
I don't know. Paul Pierce almost outed him for hanging out with Paul Pierce last night and getting caught up with some hoes.
Thing he does. But that's his brother, his teammate, his friend, and he ain't gonna say much on camera. I'd love to know what he said to him off camera. Because Kevin Garnett ain't one to tolerate that kind of nonsense.
Hoes.
And it was indicative. The behavior that I'm talking about was at least somewhat indicative.
Hoes.
Of what got Paul Pierce in trouble with ESPN. If you remember, ESPN hired Pierce in a full-time role in 2017 after he made appearances on his basketball program in a guest role and was a commentator on ESPN's NBA Countdown and The Jump. But he was let go in 2021 after he went live on Instagram.
Yep, I just talked about it.
A room full of dancers while smoking, drinking, and apparently playing poker. You would think that after what Paul Pierce went through in 2021, it's something that he would like and prefer people to forget about. Because he clearly seemed a bit inebriated and he had the dancers in his own home.
While being a public
we
figure.
Won't get into his family affairs. That's his business. But Paul Pierce actually went on the I Am Athlete podcast about a month ago with Brandon Marshall and the crew. And listen to him talking about working at ESPN. Check this out.
Hired for what?
On your day off.
Friday on their
Yo, that nigga look good. You know what you was doing.
Shorty did look thick too. But okay, if you gonna get fired, go out like that, though.
I got fired for having some entertainment.
Right.
I'm playing cards. It's my boy's birthday. It's girls dancing, and we blowing some tree.
Yeah.
I mean, what did I do wrong?
That's what.
You did everything wrong. And this is why I say on a regular basis, just because you have money or resources, and Shaq explained it perfectly. He said, listen, it's not just about whether or not you did something illegal. It's about whether or not you're protecting the brand that you're representing as an employee. If you want to do what you want to do, then do it on your own. But don't do it while also being on camera and representing this brand that we then have to sell over to sponsors. And the fact that he's still, even now, in 2023, having a conversation talking about whether or not he did anything wrong. Hey, let me ask this question first. Why is it that everything that y'all do, because this ain't even somebody that caught him and nuked him on that type of level. This is self-inflicted. Meaning that the thing that he's getting in trouble for, or the thing that he's experiencing right now, is based off of the idea that they put their own cameras on. Why are y'all going live on Instagram doing stuff that you know could possibly mess up your bag that you got going on and your future bags and your future opportunities with ESPN and any other person that you would advertise with? If Shaq is smoking, or if Shaq is out here doing a rent-a-chick or whatever like that, you're not seeing him go live with it. Shaq be doing all kind of commercials. Been gay, the general, back hurting, whatever. You don't see Kenny Smith doing that. You don't see Charles Barkley doing it. They all getting their bags. They not missing out on one bag. Why are y'all going live? For what? You're not even making no money from it. Why are you going live on something that don't add value to what it is that you got going on? Fools, just whole fools.
What it was though, it looked like, hey yo, can I say it?
What it look like, B?
Man, it looked like an orgy, like a.
Nah, dog,
Did you have your
come
shirt
on.
off?
Huh?
You had your shirt
No,
off?
I didn't. I didn't have my
shirt
shirt off. I had my shirt on.
Bro, you was having a good
You was
time.
playing
I was
cards.
playing
You had a
cards.
blood
We
and
was
some
playing-
girls around him. I mean,
we
yeah,
was
what
playing
That was
poker.
it?
Who recorded it though? Like somebody?
I did.
Dummy. Dummy.
No, look, I'm turned up. I'm on live. Like,
Yeah, he on live going crazy.
oh yeah, what's up, y'all? We out here.
He licked his lips
Stupid.
and all
Oh,
that.
but look, I'm getting a haircut too. I'm getting a cut.
It's cracking.
It's popping. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. I don't never go live either. I was just feeling my cut or something. I was like, then it was popping behind me. It was like,
At the joints over there.
hey, dog, come on. Hey, I mean, but look.
And ain't none of the people in the room had the wherewithal to say, hey, fam, because even if it's me, like, I don't even want to be on camera. Hey, bro, I'm about to get out of here, bro. I can't be on no live. Hey, fam, it's not a good look for us, bro. Bro, that's not a good look for you right there, bro. Hey, man, look, bro, let's just keep it G. We made the girls give up their phones when they came in and they had to sign non-disclosure agreements. Why the hell we going live? Ain't nobody got no good sense. Nobody got no good sense. Listen, it's one thing to have a rumor, but it's another thing to prove it true with your own self-inflicted wound. Ain't that how Ja Morant just got finessed out? Ain't that how Ja Morant just fumbled the bag? And Paul Pierce doing the same thing as a 50-year-old, 40-something 50-year-old.
The hood was feeling me.
The hood was feeling me.
Can we hear that? I got here. Can we hear the call?
Yeah, the call. Yeah,
what they say. Like, ring, ring, ring.
No, so they hit me, and there's a higher up. It was a lady. I'm like, hello? She's like, yeah, we're doing, an investigation. I'm like, could you tell us what happened? And I'm like, you didn't see it? Like, I mean, I was just.
You saw that ass, baby?
I was just hanging out, playing cards. It wasn't my house. I mean, it was self-explanatory.
Right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Some girls dancing, and I was, I had some OG. I mean,
And in LA, it's legal.
Yeah, it's legal.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing.
Idiots. Everybody in the room is an idiot. Nobody in the room gonna tell them the truth. Nobody in the room is gonna tell them the truth. Hey, fam, you fumbling bag. You shouldn't even have been in that type of space in the first place.
Illegal. But at the end of the day, it's Disney.
Oh, it's Disney. That's right.
And so they was like, they have a morals clause, and it was just
Same thing that Shaq just said with the NBA. All of these companies, when you sign a contract, they have a morality clause, including the companies that you guys work with. So don't act like a victim when you then have this self-inflicted wound that you then get fired from. You know what you're getting yourself into when you get into it.
It was immoral.
That's the bullshit that irritates the living hell out of me. I got mad respect for Paul Pierce, and I got mad love for the three brothers he was talking to, and I'm not even sure that was a month ago, because I know LeSean McCoy, Shady McCoy, works for FS1, and I'm not sure that interview actually was a month ago. For some reason, it propped up and somebody brought it to my attention. It was the first time I'd ever seen it, and I felt the need to address it. I'm gonna tell you why I felt the need to address it. Because Brandon Marshall, Deshaun Jackson, another one of my brothers, and Shady McCoy, another one of my brothers, all know there's certain stuff that you just can't do.
Facts. No, we
Not when
know.
you working in corporate.
It ain't just them. We all know that it's certain things that you can't do. It's certain things that you just cannot do. There's no way I can turn up the volume anymore. This is Stephen A. Smith's video. His editors had the video super low. So there's nothing that we can do about that. We just got to eat this.
America. Damn sure not when you working for Disney. Paul Pierce, don't act like you didn't know what the morals clause is.
Facts.
You look like you had a bunch of strippers in your house, like you had some weed going on everywhere and alcohol and all of this other stuff. You don't represent Disney that way.
Facts.
And here's the whole point that really pisses me off. The fact of the matter is, don't bring up the hood. We all from it. And the fact of the matter is that when you out in the hood, you doing stuff in front of your house in the streets or whatever the case may be. You ain't broadcasting it and streaming live over Instagram. There's a difference. There's a difference. What you mean, I was in my house, I was chilling in my house. It's self-explanatory. What was self-explanatory is that you went viral with it while you were working with somebody else. You don't know the importance of projecting images. I didn't see you doing that when you were playing. You knew you were representing the Boston Celtics.
And he telling the truth. He's telling, listen. The goal is to get away from the hood, not to embrace what it is that the hood is a representation of. The goal is to divest ourselves from it so that we can protect our bags and make as much money as possible and then take care of our families.
You didn't do it then. See, this is the problem. And this is where we cost ourselves as a community when we let stuff like this slide.
Paul Pierce in that picture right there just looks sad. He looks like a sad old man, still trying to figure out where it is that he fits in society, and that's why he wearing bust-down watches, talking about look at my chain, and buying rent-a-girlfriends on Instagram.
And I'm speaking out of love, because I love all of those brothers. And I know they were vibing with Paul Pierce, and you laughed and you clapped and all of that other stuff. Deshaun Jackson, no bet, he wouldn't do something like that. Brandon Marshall's a businessman. Highly intelligent.
He 100% right.
With a lot of aspirations.
He's on it 100%.
He wouldn't do that. Shady McCoy is smart as hell. And that man is about his business. He wouldn't do that. Then what's so damn funny?
Because ain't nobody holding nobody accountable.
See, somebody got to tell Paul Pierce.
Nobody's going to tell him.
You're a champion, bro. You're a champion. No, you didn't break any laws. It's not.
But this just shows you that you don't have no real friends. They going to laugh at you. And they going to get it as content when you jump on their platform in order to continue to get their views up. They not going to do the same behavior as you. They going to laugh at you. They going to get their content. And those are not your friends. You think you cool because y'all all giggling and hee and on. And while you fumbling the bag, they making the bag off of the fact that you out there looking like a fool. And then you tried to fumble KG's bag on top of that and fumble his family.
Not about the laws when it's in the private sector. The private sector has their own laws. There's certain things you can't do in the NBA. There's certain things you can't do in the NFL. There's certain things you can't do in Major League Baseball. There's certain things you can't do at Disney. Just like you can't do it at Fox. You know that. You know that. What kind of advice would y'all give to Ja Morant?
Facts. Thank you.
Got 5 years and $231 million coming to him. The whole gun toting thing didn't break any laws. Carrying firearms is legal in many, many states. You don't even need a permit. You don't need it in Tennessee. You don't need it in Alabama. You don't need it in various states throughout this country. So he didn't break any laws. But you know what he did break? He did break rules and regulations of the NBA, which is why the suspension is pending. What advice are you in a position to give him?
And you can't listen to these OGs no more. You can't listen to the OGs no more because they're just as bad, if not worse, than you. They're just as bad and if not worse than you. So if the young dudes can't even look to the OGs in order to get insight information on how it is that they need to be moving a little bit differently and securing the bag, who do they have to turn to? They don't have nobody to look up to. Everybody that's down beneath them, that's around them, is hanger-ons because they just trying to eat and make sure that they get a little bit visibility and that they stay on the payroll. You got nobody around you that's actually looking out for you. Your mama is calling Ja Morant over into the mall with the goons because the Foot Locker dude offended her somehow. Paul Pierce is out here fumbling the bag. Zion Williamson is out here fumbling the bag. Ja Morant out here fumbling the bag. Who can you look to? And this is a cultural thing. This is a community thing. This is the same thing that most of these dudes would do if they was in the same position and got money. And you know the same thing that I hear every single day online? Well, it ain't illegal. They think just like you.
I'm Stephen A. I got the airwaves available to me. I'm not a champion, Paul Pierce. I'm not an elite football player, Shady, Brandon, Deshaun. And I ain't blaming y'all three. Y'all are something special. But with special talents comes special responsibility. Paul Pierce is a champion, highly knowledgeable about the game of basketball, talks major smack about what cats should and shouldn't be doing, is qualified to do it, and has a resume and credentials that'll back it up. Do you know what Paul Pierce could bring to the sport of basketball? But we see him on Kevin Garnett's podcast, and I love that podcast. And I love what KG is doing.
Shout out to Saul. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly along with all of the other super chats.
So ain't nobody throwing no shade in that direction. What I am saying is their voices are powerful. They're profound. They can do a lot of great things. And I know KG is going to. Ain't nobody throwing no shade on him here. You, Paul Pierce, what you doing, bro?
If anybody was smart that had Paul Pierce as in a friendship group, I don't care if you won a championship with him. I don't care if you KG or whatever. Y'all need to stop keeping it real. Stop keeping it real. If anybody has Paul Pierce as a friend, Paul Pierce, in my opinion, looked like he's going through a buzzsaw. It looks like he's going into a space to where there will be no vindication. There will be no flowers at the end of it. There will be nothing but gnashing of the teeth, issues, problems, and hopefully not a Me Too. Nothing good is going to come from Paul Pierce, but Paul Pierce has to hit his version of a rock bottom to come out of that shit. Because right now, everybody needs to just distance themselves from him in order to not fumble their bag. Don't fumble your bag trying to prevent him from fumbling his bag, but he don't give a fuck about his bag. He looked like a person that has no identity, no purpose in life. And after basketball, that was the end of the conversation. And now he's just doing whatever it takes in order to survive, to make himself feel good in the moment, looking like a fool.
That's how you want to be seen. You want the image of you being you with a drink in your hand and surrounded by strippers or pulling out your phone or, summon women that you pay for with alcohol or
tricking
weed or something always around you.
Tricking.
With slurred speech. And you trying to be. That's the imagery you want? That's what you want, bro? For yourself? That's how you want us to see you, this champion who is an elite player and closer? That's the imagery you want us to have for you?
Yep.
Please stop. You mean too much to the game of basketball, bro. You mean too much to the game of basketball.
It's over. I don't even know why Stephen A. is even having this conversation. Nobody can help Paul Pierce but Paul Pierce. Nobody can save him from himself. Nobody can make him do right. Nobody in his inner circle is obviously telling him the truth while he called himself the truth. It's over. It's just over for Paul Pierce. That's all I see for him. Personally, that's all I see for him. Can't help him, bro. GM says, with friends like Paul Pierce, who need enemies? That's a whole fact. Executive Suite MLE says, Paul Pierce almost pulled a D'Angelo Russell on KG. He has reached drunk uncle status already. His new name is Uncle Paul. Uncle Paulie. Paul is divorced, by the way. Yeah, I can see that. I could see him being divorced. It's obvious. He's no LeBron James in retirement or before retirement. That's a fact. Salty Balls said gift 2 and 3. Thine Y'all got some funny names. With the 50 ball says gift 2 and 3. Thine all seeing eyes and all hearing ears make one a true vessel to receiveth wisdom gifts of presents will be bestowed unto you. Out of the midst seek this out, like a sword and a shield. The sands of time shall answer this riddle for you. Shout out to Salty Balls in the building. I appreciate you for the super chat. Listen, God bless him. I hope he get his life together. I hope everything works out for him. But I don't see anything good that can come from it. And all I see right now is bag fumbling with a lot of these guys that's out here in these streets. Listen, make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Again, shout out to the sponsor of the show, Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. If you have not got your Teach pack, that link is in the description. Also, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, make sure y'all following me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The link to all three of them is in the description. I do not have any alternative or backup accounts. Those are my accounts in the description. So if anybody reaches out to you on any other platform that says, hey, I'm Anton and I want you to invest or trade with me, that's not me. It is not me. I do not do business like that. I do not have any alternative accounts. The only accounts that I have are the accounts in my description. So if you see any other accounts, make sure you report it. Make sure you tag it and send it to me. And if you need to get in touch with me on anything business related, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com, and I'm going to make sure that I get you popping. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal morning, and we're going to get it popping. I love y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.